forget everything you know about the blue whale. For decades, we believed it was the undisputed heavyweight champion of Earth's history, the absolute ceiling of biological scale. But the abyss hides a terrifying secret. 200 million years ago, a prehistoric nightmare reached a mass so gargantuan it makes the modern blue whale look like a lightweight. It wasn't a mammal, and it didn't filter feed on krill. It was a cold-blooded, torpedo-shaped titan that broke every law of physics just to exist. Meet Ichthyotitan, the lost experiment of evolution that ruled the seas long before the first whale ever took a breath. Take a moment to analyze the scientific narrative we once held as absolute truth. Based on sheer bodily bulk, the blue whale has long been categorized as the most massive organism to ever glide through our world's oceans. Reaching lengths beyond 80 feet and pulling a weight of 200 tons, this cetacean appeared to represent the definitive limit of what biological life could achieve. Researchers theorized that a larger frame was physically impossible. The foundational laws of gravity and internal pressure suggested that any organism more gargantuan would simply fracture under its own monumental scale. We viewed this whale as a creature existing at the very frontier of physical reality. This consensus remained unchallenged until the emergence of a remarkable fossilized jawbone. This relic belonged to a beast now identified as Ichthyotitan severnensis. Its discovery provided the first tangible evidence that a species once existed, with the potential to dethrone the blue whale as the planet's ultimate heavyweight champion. Paradoxically, this prehistoric titan was not a member of the whale lineage, but a colossal marine reptile from a forgotten Triassic era. To truly comprehend the magnitude of this animal, we must first establish a precise biological definition of large. Generally, when people inquire about the largest animal, they are referring to mass, the actual volume of biological tissue occupying space. If we were to categorize size merely by length, the blue whale would have lost its crown to several competitors long ago. Consider the Argentinosaurus, a dinosaur that stretched nearly 115 feet. Despite its length, it was essentially a mobile suspension bridge consisting of a spindly neck and a whip-like tail, weighing perhaps 90 tons. Similarly, the bootlace worm can span 180 feet, while possessing the total mass of a damp piece of clothing. The blue whale remains the king because it is a dense 200-ton monolith of muscle, bone, and blubber. Early projections for Ichthyotitan suggest it reached lengths of approximately 85 feet. But it was far from a slender creature. It was built with a staggering robustness, resulting in an estimated average weight of 120 tons. You might assume that a 120-ton reptile is still a runner-up to a 200-ton whale, but remember that 200 tons is the absolute record for whales. The typical blue whale usually weighs between 100 and 150 tons, which places the average Ichthyotitan in the exact same weight category as the average modern giant. The mystery deepens when we consider the Ost colossus, a massive fossil fragment found in England years prior to the official naming of this species. If this individual followed the growth trajectory seen in whales, where the largest outliers are roughly 60% heavier than the average adult, the mathematical conclusion is startling. The theoretical peak weight for this species would not be 175 tons. It would soar closer to 280 tons. While this remains speculative, such a figure would completely dwarf any blue whale ever recorded in human history. From a structural perspective, Ichthyotitan represents a fascinating anomaly. In modern ecosystems, mammals are usually the ones that achieve extreme bulk because the physics of cetacean existence is remarkably grueling. Mammals possess air-filled lungs and thick blubber for insulation, making them essentially giant fleshy balloons. Without a high-density, heavy skeleton to act as monumental ballast, a whale would simply bob helplessly on the surface like a rubber toy. Reptiles, conversely, are typically engineered for streamlined speed and lean agility. Even a terrifying mosasaur looks athletic and slender compared to the girth of a whale. Yet, Ichthyotitan utilized convergent evolution to adopt the same torpedo-like blueprint required for high-speed efficiency in the open ocean. In the vast reaches of the deep sea, being massive is actually a strategy for energy conservation. For pelagic animals traveling thousands of miles across a global ocean, every movement counts. Physics dictates that larger bodies encounter less relative drag against their total mass. It is the same reason a massive ocean liner is more efficient at crossing the Atlantic than a small motorboat. By evolving into an 80-foot living torpedo, Ichthyotitan could cruise global distances without exhausting its energy reserves. Furthermore, extreme size unlocked a biological cheat code known as gigantothermy. These creatures were so enormous that their bodies functioned as living thermal batteries, retaining heat so effectively that they could hunt in the freezing depths that would paralyze a smaller, cold-blooded reptile. During the late Triassic period, the world's oceans served as a limitless buffet. The waters teemed with giant cephalopods and massive fish, providing more than enough biomass to fuel a predator of this scale. Most importantly, the penthouse of the ocean was vacant. There were no whales, no megalodons, and no mosasaurs to compete for dominance. Natural selection favored those that grew larger, allowing these ichthyosaurs to win the evolutionary game and become the undisputed sovereigns of the sea. However, the reign eventually collapsed. Approximately 201 million years ago, the Triassic period ended in a volcanic nightmare known as the Central Atlantic Magmatic Province. The Earth essentially split open, releasing apocalyptic amounts of CO2 that triggered rapid global warming and acidified the oceans. While the environmental shift didn't kill the giants immediately, it decimated the food chain they relied on. This is where the strategy of being a 200-ton biological submarine backfires. Being massive is a gift when food is abundant, but it is a death sentence when the buffet closes. An Ichthyotitan required millions of calories every single day just to survive. The largest animals were the first to face starvation. They simply could not overcome the laws of thermodynamics. Following their disappearance, the niche of the sea titan remained empty for 200 million years. It wasn't until mammals returned to the water and evolved into modern whales that the world saw giants of this scale once more. Ichthyotitan was a singular prehistoric experiment that proved a reptile could reach the absolute physical limits of mass. Today, the blue whale rules an ocean that this reptilian monster had already conquered eons ago. We are unlikely to see such giants return. The specific conditions of the Triassic are gone, and modern megafauna face a glass ceiling imposed by human activity. We hunt them, deplete their food sources, and alter their habitats. If a reptile today managed to start growing to the size of a submarine, it would likely be accidentally struck by a cargo ship before ever reaching maturity. Our industrial presence ensures the era of the predatory titan is over. Ultimately, our entire understanding of this beast is reconstructed from a mere 3 bones. In the grand scheme of paleontology, this is a tiny statistical sample. We are essentially attempting to summarize the complete contents of a library by examining 3 singed scraps retrieved from a waste bin. It is entirely possible that even larger creatures once drifted through the deep, vanishing into time without leaving a trace. Perhaps, however, it is for the best that today's largest inhabitants are filter feeders rather than apex predators. I am perfectly content knowing that the modern titans of the sea prefer plankton over hunting the rest of us.